On January 4th, 2020, a special group of 100 Earthlings will be chosen to leave the Milky Way galaxy and embark on an interdimensional trip with DJ Femi, Tria Plus with hip-hop artist Shad Ali, and Starship Mantis, featuring a special collaboration and adult beverages from Dancing Gnome. This is an event you don't want to miss. January 4th, 2020, at Black Forge Coffee House in McKees Rocks. Find tickets on Eventbrite by searching New Year, New Galaxy. Only 100 tickets available. Make sure to lock in your trip before tickets sell out. Prepare for launch.
T-minus 3, 2, 1.
Time for the sponsor's opening commercial message.
The federal health insurance marketplace is now open, so if you're under 65, you're free to shop for the health plan that's right for you. UPMC Health Plan has some of the lowest price plans on the marketplace. Plus, you may be eligible for financial assistance to help you pay for your insurance. For affordable coverage that includes access to UPMC and digital tools to help you manage your health, visit upmchealthplan.com/marketplace. Enroll today.
All right, you're asking for it, so here it is.
Epicast.
Listen to this.
I want you fuckers laughing at we Partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, and all that stuff.
Buzzy and I got similar hoodies. We're similar hoodie. We're hoodie down. All right. Welcome to the real 236th episode of the Drinking Partners podcast. This is probably like the second or third or probably 47th time that I've messed up the numbers. We named the last episode 236. That was actually 235. We just got ahead of ourselves. This is 236. This is the 36th Olympics episode when Jesse Owens won. It was like, who the fuck is this? And who the fuck or what the fuck is the title of this episode? Because when you talk to our guest today, we're familiar with him, but we don't know what the fuck he's doing now. Like, we don't understand. And that's why we're here. This is education for myself and my partner, because we need to know what our friends are into. All right. I'm half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people, man? He dug deep for that one. We are the Drinking Partners. And if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. 230 some episodes we've been asking y'all, man.
Say on the
but we will continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well, man. So please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review.
Listen, you love us. You see us out in public and you tell us that you love us. Now, at the click of a button, as always, please tell the internet, tell everybody you know, tell anyone that rides in a car for more than 15 minutes, anyone who listens to the radio, anyone who listens to podcasts, want to listen to podcasts, let them know Drinking Partners is what's up, all right? And as always, 200 and something odd times, because I said 36 twice, but we probably at episode 300 anyway, but
Truth be told,
we've said it many times before. We're going to say it many times in the future. In lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy, okay? Shout out to Car Guy DJ, a.k.a. James Logbo, a.k.a. I'm getting money. And the Conways for starting the trend. Shout out to everybody who's kept the trend going. Shout out to the people who have left reviews recently and was like, wow, I didn't read my shit. I'm going to read one here, man, because like we get back to it, because y'all was leaving some reviews.
Reviews, all right.
Yeah, and this review is titled Hilarious in Person and Online by Mr. B. Mont. One word, B. Mont. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the Beaumont.
That's probably Brandon Montgomery.
Okay.
Shout out.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for
Black
the weekly
Travelers.
podcast with purpose and humor. I'm glad I had the opportunity to experience the show at Fresh Fest with Garrett Oliver. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Mr. Beaumont. We appreciate that. That's, we can't really pull too much hilarity out of that. That was very complimentary of us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, that's how we, let others know that we're doing well, so we appreciate that.
Black Bear Travelers?
Yeah, Black Bear
That's
Travelers.
that Black Bear Travelers. Yeah. Shout out to them, man. Follow them online, man. I see y'all with the drink in the sand. I saw y'all. I saw you with the soft flex, got the drink in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a little jealous of his beer life, man. It's diverse, like, and it's all over the country. So, yeah, if you into the thing, go ahead and follow them. And shit, we don't even have anything to promote.
Well, we thought we were taking a month off, and then people started hitting us like, "Yo!" So we got the Butler Brew Works December 19th.
Yeah.
That's I forget who the fuck we got.
We got Tim Ross and Kaylee Dumas.
Kaylee Dumas, you know what I mean? And your boy, it's your boy. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that thing off strong. You remember headline? I'm getting back on my shit, man. Lately I've been all in the shit being booked. Like I got some beginning December. I was trying to like not do nothing in December, but I guess a lot of comedians are saying no to a lot of shit. So they're like, all right, Ed, look, fam, you can't say no. Like I'm like, I gotta pay for Christmas. That's the thing about it. Like you want to say, all right, I'm taking December off, but then you realize, I gotta finance these holidays.
Yeah, like a motherfucker.
And then you know what I mean, that couple dollars gone. You know what I mean? That's a couple toys, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Butler Brew Works, that's a free show. So if you looking to, kind of bring the family out, people will be back home and whatnot. You want to show them a good time, but you don't want to break the bank. Man, I mean, you come through, get some of these good booze, and the entertainment's on us. The new year is coming up, though. If you're listening to this, it's probably the new year. We don't know. It's still the last decade here, but by the time you hear us, it should be a new year. It should be a new galaxy, and that's the name of the event coming up over there in Black Forge. I don't know if y'all remember Black Forge or not. They've been doing great community shit now over there in Allentown for quite some time. Now they're over in McKees Rocks. In their second location, and they're kicking off this event January 4th. And man, the lineup is DJ Femi, Trio, and Shad Ali. Shout out to Shad Ali. And I mean, DJ Black Femi, Starship Manus. I mean, you got a nice little
mix
alumni.
Mix of talent there. And also DP alum.
Yeah, some DP alum over there. I mean, we got a collab beer with Dancing Gnome. With Dancing Gnome. That's gonna be something fucking
Galaxy
ridiculous.
hops.
Kind of has to. I feel like that. Like it's a new Galaxy. If you ain't got no Galaxy hops in there, I mean,
see, there we go. We got to stop giving up the money.
Look, man. Every episode is something new that's coming out of here, man.
Yeah, we need these rates and reviews and people to buy these tickets so we can move to upper middle class.
These new terms. You know what I mean, just drop the new term. You know what I mean, every time you hear a new word, just like tweet that shit at us. But this event is it only has 100 tickets because that's how many is available. So you got to get them or you don't. And you can check Epicast social media. So that's all Epicast Network across the board. I mean, epicastnetwork.com. Hit them up.
Yeah, there we go. So it's on us to move into our guest here because I mean we don't have much to promote, and I'm very interested to talk to our guest because I mean we met him. He's a friend, family member of the cast. He filled in when I was down a little bit. He's been here about three times. Have you been on? It's been on, so you're familiar with it, and you've seen him around. And we had a weird Giant Eagle parking lot experience where he didn't show. But we got the owner of Cloud Cryotherapy in the building, Dan Dongilli.
Yeah,
did I get it right?
That's it, man.
Fucking white people in your last name. They know Matthews and Jacksons. Say what up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here with you guys doing this thing. It's been too long. Grown Up Humans has been on hiatus for about a year, so I haven't had a chance to podcast, and this is a cool opportunity for me to talk about this new endeavor and kick it with you guys for a little bit.
It's dope. I ain't podcast, but you always moving. Like now you're like, you know what? I'm on to the next thing. I mean, I got something going. So tell people who aren't familiar, like, what is cryotherapy? Like, what is that?
All right. So cryotherapy, just fundamentally, right, is getting into a tank that's cooled by nitrogen down to negative anywhere from 140 to 170 degrees Celsius. And that translates to like negative 230 to 280 Fahrenheit. So
And
it
that's
gets
legal.
really
And
fucking cold.
that's completely legal.
Yeah, dude.
That
Which
doesn't
is
sound right at all.
crazy. Which is crazy. Like me, I have no certification. I'm not a chemist, right? But I can buy, whatever, about 600 pounds of liquid nitrogen. If we were in the Terminator in T2, we could fucking freeze that thing. We'd be safe.
So that's what I mean. So that's what I'm like. You're talking about negative 200 or whatever. Like, how are you not like shattering your leg off and shit?
Well, so you're only going in for 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes is a totally safe treatment time. And when you're being cooled down with air as opposed to like water, right? Like getting into a 40-degree tub of water is so jarring. But being exposed to air that's, below 200 minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not nearly as jarring.
I can't see that. Does that sound right to you? Like,
No.
Getting in air minus 200 degrees is not as jarring. That seems pretty fucking jarring.
And if I were smarter and had a stronger background in like thermochemistry, I could articulate why the transfer of heat away from the body is more pronounced.
Water is definitely going to pull the heat away. Like it's going to transfer. That's how you heat your house and all shit like that. But is the surface like? Are you on a surface? Are you walking in? Are you naked? You got like your shoes on? Like how's this whole thing?
So I guess to explain one more detail about why you would want to do this and get into what the logistics of it being done is. So you get in it so your body, it's what's called like a hormetic stress, right? That old saying, that old adage, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? That's kind of the...
Oh, that was hormetic. Okay, I didn't know.
Like a hormetic stressor or like hormesis, right? And so when you get exposed to this extremely cold temperature, your body, what it does is it thinks like, oh shit, we're going to need these anti-inflammatory responses because we're fucking dying, but it's only 3 minutes. So long after that stressor is gone, what you have is the presence of all of these anti-inflammatories. You have norepinephrine responses that remain circulating throughout the body, which also all have positive impacts for things like inflammation, mood, pain management, right?
Okay.
It's great for that stuff. So people who are going through, who have chronic arthritis, or someone like me who had Lyme disease and I almost died, right? And I had a lot of inflammation following that. In addition, I had cognitive deficits. I couldn't speak well. Like I had aphasia. I couldn't find the words I was trying to use. I couldn't think. I couldn't stay on task. Norepinephrine helps with all of those things. So what they find is injecting people with norepinephrine helps to keep people on task, keep them focused, keep them happy, in a good mood. And the absence of it or less of it results in what we would appreciate as depression, anxiety, attention deficit, things along those lines. And there's a class of drugs called SNRIs, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. Anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but these are all
this is good shit.
We came from literally nothing. So everything is you're adding to. I didn't know what the fuck cryotherapy. I thought it was like me sitting in a room with a therapist, like saying all the sad shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was an ice bath. Like,
but I would say, is it akin to like a really intense ice bath? I guess.
Absolutely, and the benefits that you get from cryotherapy, you can also appreciate from an ice bath, right? Similarly. And again, I'm not a scientist, so I can't articulate what the benefits of one over the other are. But you do get a norepinephrine response from an ice bath as well.
To be honest, like I would rather just walk into the air dip than to do the ice bath.
Right,
like
3 minutes in and out. Yeah,
in and out. Then like, just because man, that fucking.
I never understood. Like I see, like Kevin Hart even has that online series where they sit in the ice bath and they like joke around. I don't get it. Like I cannot. Like I can't even get in the pool if it's not heat.
Once you get out of it and the feeling that you have after an ice bath is dope as fuck, but it's still like it's so far in between. You know what I mean? That like every time you look at it, you're like, man, is it worth it? Like, you know what I mean?
My nuts have been on ice one time, dog, and that's when I died. I was literally hooked up to like a bunch of like ice pack. I was laying there with just a bunch of ice packets and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time I could see myself doing that, and they had to kill me to do that shit. Like I'm not voluntarily dipping myself in. But I would say for cryotherapy, I mean, it seems like, and we're most exposed to it through athletes, I guess. I mean, I guess it's very, because we had the whole, where I became conscious of it was the Antonio Brown situation where his feet got frozen. And I guess that's to go to your question, what did you wear in it? Because I guess there was a whole, like, there was a thing about, well, he's got these blisters on his feet, but now they're like, well, that's his fault because he didn't wear the proper footwear.
Right. And I'm glad we're talking, because every time I say, oh, I'm starting to, or my business partner and I bought this cryotherapy business, almost every time it's like, oh, that Antonio Brown thing.
Well, that's where most people became cognizant of it. Like, I never heard of it before that.
Yeah. So what you do when you're going into a cryotherapy session, right? It's safe. It really is. The only ways that you could get injured are if you go in wet, right? So in the absence of oxygen, in the absence of moisture, you can't get not goddamn freezer burn, frostbite.
Well, that's the same. It's human freezer burn.
Yeah. It's been making leftovers taste bad for centuries.
Yeah.
So you can't have moisture. And what I speculate, and now I wasn't in the room with the Antonio Brown, but what we do at Cryotherapy is you come in and we have a towel. So even if you come in just like we're sitting here now, maybe you have some perspiration under your arms or, whatever, you dry off, right? You just towel down, make sure that you're dry. And then we give you a thick pair of socks, and then we give you a pair of thick slippers. And on the bottom of those slippers is a rubber sole, right? So you're not touching the ground.
The cold, yeah.
Right. And if there is some moisture on your feet, you're not you're not going to get frostbite. Additionally, we give you a thick pair of wool gloves, right? So because the areas that are going to be exposed, that are going to perspire regularly, your hands and your feet, right? Mm-hmm. And you're wearing your drawers. You're wearing your underwear, ladies, bra, underwear, whatever they want. And so it really is safe. The ways that you could get hurt is maybe thinking that you know better than whoever is facilitating it, who's saying like you got to put on these dry socks we're giving you in these slippers, and we wouldn't let you in the tank if you didn't do that, right?
So he had to go in there barefoot.
He had to go in there barefoot or with wet socks or something, or the person facilitating. Just like after a workout, I just worked out really hard. Oh, I'm feeling banged up. I'm going to jump in the cryo tank. And whoever is there is so starstruck or intimidated. Yeah. They're like, Mr. Brown, please, you have to put these on. Like, no, I don't need them.
But you don't go in after them. Like, yo, come out. Like, this is negative 200. Yeah. You can't warm that shit up fast enough.
But the tank itself, it looks like a can, right? So there's a door. And the door opens and there's a little elevator inside, and you get your head above the tank where the nitrogen is, so you don't pass out. Okay. And and you stay in there for 3 minutes. I wish we'd had a chance to.
So it almost looks like the like when the magicians saw you in half and your head's kind of coming out of the box.
Exactly.
Trying to create a visual.
Yeah, no, totally. That's exactly it. It's a tube, but you're vertical instead of horizontal. You're not laying down. You're standing up.
So from shoulders down, you're in.
Yeah, correct.
That's crazy. Because I was going to be like, yo, how is it that you're breathing that air in and it's not fucking your lungs up? You know what I mean? But you're so it's like from the neck down.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So and they're
imagine somebody locking you in there and just bop him.
That would be crazy. That's gonna be
Got
like
your nose.
in a future.
Got your
That's what
nose.
the futuristic horror movies are. They're not gonna like murder you. They're gonna like lock you in cryotherapy tanks and interrogate you.
Smack you around and shit.
Is that technically chemical warfare since nitrogen is involved?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Although I feel like you'd get in a really good mood at first, and then you'd probably just pass out. You know, it'd be like, fuck, man, we didn't think this through all the way. Like we
made him happy and sleepy.
We should have kept warming him up in between. Give him a nice fluffy blanket, then stick him back in.
So do you see more in the industry with your research? Do you see it more of with people who are athletic or within the athletic field, or is it for like the more personal? Because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, is it something that, like I've had the accident, so I have some, aches and pains and whatnot. So I'm like, would this be something that could help? But I think of cryotherapy, and because I'm only introduced through, Antonio Brown, I'm like, is that something that just a regular Joe Schmo does, like a 9-to-5 guy just getting cryotherapy? Like,
no doubt, man. Like it's absolutely beneficial, right? So just in our culture, in our society right now, we're constantly being exposed to things that are creating some sort of inflammation, small injuries, our diet, what we're doing when we're physically active. It's great for athletes, but it's also really great for just guys like us who are active, but we're not fucking out there, in the UFC or in the NBA or, in the NFL or something.
Don't look at me and think I'm an active motherfucker just because I'm skinny, man. I am a lazy motherfucker.
You got an active person body though.
But I'm a lazy motherfucker. I'm a big chip eating, just like remote using. You know what I mean? Like
you pass me this shit with nothing in it.
you asked for it,
What the fuck? I thought it was something in it. It's a can. I can't see through the can.
I thought you knew something I didn't. Like
you got this little ass glass.
You saw me times we poured out of that.
Would you pass? This is the most disrespectful. We 236 in. You go disrespect.
And now I got the can. Wanted to admire the art.
I got a pour to drop. Like, look at that. Ain't bad.
Shout out to Shoe Brew. And I mean, shout out to Radical Trivia with the Radical Trivial.
Yeah, this shit is great.
Pineapple.
I literally, like, as a joke, I just drank the head, pause, and that shit still was.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Flavorful. Shout out to Zach.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, but and not even just being active or whatever, but like, I feel especially with the seasonal depression. Like, and you're talking about the the effects of like those levels on the brain and whatnot. Like, I mean, it gets dark at 4:00, 4:30. Yeah, I mean, like, so you don't have as much of that sun to naturally keep you, afloat and going or whatever. And like, there's, I've been like looking into ways to, like combat that seasonal depression. This sounds like it, it's right up that alley in a sense.
And that's interesting because they're doing studies right now. They did a small scale study. I think they're doing a follow-up one as well. And it's people who would be eligible for the prescription of a SNRI, again, that serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor, showing that they're getting the similar benefit from cryotherapy exposure that they are from the medications that, their psychiatrist or PCP or whoever would prescribe. The thing is, just like a pill, you have an increase in this norepinephrine, which will translate to a better mood, better sleep, more focus, all the things that I mentioned before. But it's like a sine wave, right? So just like with the pill, you get a blood level, and then that blood level half-lifes and, starts to metabolize, and then you take another one the next fucking morning. With this, it's the same way. So me personally, and I'm trying not to come on here sounding like a fucking salesman.
Nigga,
but
you wore a cardigan. This is not who you normally are. I was just looking like, yo, he don't dress like that. What's this damn?
This is the new comfortable me, man. Now that
cryotherapy owner, you like, I'm in charge of hazardous gases.
But not coming off too salesy. I had knee surgery back on November 1st. I had a meniscectomy, and I've been doing cryotherapy sessions daily from 1 week out after my post-op appointment. And in addition to me feeling like it's had a really positive effect on decreasing that inflammation, regaining range of motion, I've just been in a better mood. And I'm somebody who historically has suffered terribly from seasonal affective disorder, depression, no sun, fuck you situation. And it's been nice, right? And that said, I'm not quick to attribute any benefits to cryotherapy that haven't already been substantiated by science. Because anything that, if you have any questions about, is this dude full of shit? I assure you that a cursory Google search will have data from people far smarter than me substantiating all of these claims. And in Europe, cryotherapy is covered by insurance, and because of it being substantiated. Unfortunately, in the U.S. right now, it's currently not widely covered.
We're not trying to get you healthy with health insurance.
Yeah.
We're trying to get you back in the doctor's office getting finances.
You don't need these drugs. The fuck?
So you said you're doing it daily? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what's the appropriate I guess frequency of cryotherapy, because exposing your body to something so dramatic, I don't know how that could affect. You're only in there for 3 minutes, but it's also, shit. I think the worst weather I've seen maybe have been -10 in my life. So you're 20 times worse than anything I've ever experienced, and I don't have on clothes.
Yeah,
sure.
I have nothing to guard me except for these socks and mittens.
Are you getting it? So there's no even a gown. You ain't even gowning it down. You just in there.
He just throw his leg in. I'm only working on one spot, bro.
Just hang my leg in there on the top. We give you a robe to whatever, keep your privacy, so you don't feel exposed walking to the tank. But once you're in there, the robe's off and you're in whatever you feel comfortable going in, right? And if somebody says we want to go in some yoga pants or some running compression pants, you try it out in whatever way you feel comfortable. There's
all in though, butt ass.
Do
they have to tell you if they go in there butt ass?
You got to give it the butt ass wipe down.
Yeah, you got to wipe it down if somebody in there butt ass.
Well, hopefully they're not touching. You're not leaning against the side. When you get in there, that nitrogen starts coming out. The last thing you're even inclined to do is put any part of your body against what is the very safe interior of that tank. You could touch it. It's no problem. You can bump up against it. You're not going to get, burned. But the last thing you're thinking is I'm just gonna rest up against the side.
It's a sauna. So it ain't like a reverse sauna where you just you sit back and pour some nitrogen on the dip, legs up,
Although that would be kind of dope if you had. Go ahead, pour a little extra nitrogen on there for yourself.
Yo, you're a different dude if you go in the nitrogen tank butt ass. Yo. I'm not just having my balls swinging just with the shit. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It depends on the setup or whatever. If I'm just because the float you go in, you just kind of chill out, and it's just kind of
Wait. You not? Was I butt ass?
No. I think.
No, you got on. They give you go in with trunks or something. They give you shorts or some shit.
I might not.
Well, was I? You was butt ass.
I might have been butt ass in that dude.
Oh shit!
But it's just
all the
salt water.
Yeah, was I butt ass in there? I can't remember. But I was also just laying in room temperature water.
I didn't want to feel nothing. You know what I mean?
It wasn't
crazy.
No, I don't remember.
Man, I might do the cryo.
They got to change that water, yo. If dudes is in that shit, butt ass, because that water be moving. So where your ass was might float up to my earlobe.
Maybe get a little in your mouth.
No.
I mean, the thing is, in the float tanks, I've used them a number of times. traditionally you are butt ass in there.
I mean, I can't remember. I might have very well been butt ass. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I know, like, now I'm thinking about it, it would be ridiculous if I got in there in my drawers.
Yeah.
or like
you
trunks
floating
or
on a
something.
rainbow somewhere with trunks on. It's like
Yeah, well, you
defeats
literally-
the purpose of the rainbow.
It was crazy because
Try
in
to be
thinking
all
of,
in that motherfucker.
in thinking about it, though, there was a level of clarity that, you know what, I literally can't remember. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything but being in there floating. I think we did a whole podcast after that shit. I don't remember none of that.
Man.
That's
Like, I was
cool.
just literally laying there like, yo, this shit is like crazy. So now that's at room temperature, though. What do you feel like when you're in this tank? Do you feel like, damn, I'm cold?
Well, it depends on, how much of a bitch you let that inner voice be. You know what I mean?
No, you
'Cause
walk into
there's-
200. I don't think you had bitch being cold. It's negative 200, fam.
But it's
negative 200.
So
They would definitely close school.
Yeah. Especially if you're Pittsburgh Public. If you're in Pittsburgh Public, those radiators don't heat up for until at least lunchtime.
Yeah, they definitely. This ain't no 2-hour delay shit. That school is definitely closed.
Yeah, you going a couple extra days in July.
You got to leave a sink on the little drip so your pipes don't. It's a bunch of shit at negative 200. Some shit you got to do. First of all, you're not gonna be able to drive. Your car is not starting.
No,
You are looking at the meatiest of the clan, and I mean, trying to divvy that up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely wish you had your little big John.
Yeah.
Crawl up next to a Lizzo, like, yo, why you great till you gotta be great?
What do you mean I've been great?
Yeah, that is.
Fuck, I forget what
I was just asking, like, what, like, when you get in, because that
Oh.
level of intense cold, like, I feel like, so you say it's negative 200, I feel like you get in, you feel cold, but I feel like, I don't know if I could stand negative 200 cold for 3 minutes. Like, how do people, so it has to feel different than I imagine.
So, like anything else, right? If your why is strong enough, then any how is possible, right? And so if you you walk in there and you're like, why am I getting in here? It's like, why am I getting in here?
In this
But seriously, like, we can get through anything. Like anybody who's played sports, who's doing, like, you're grinding, you're driving, you have that 30 seconds left, you're fucking just digging deep, you're going for it. Like, you don't want to stay there. Like, you can't maintain that for 30 minutes.
That's why it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It ain't a sauna.
You walk in and the initial feeling, if you've never done it before, is probably like, oh, fuck, this is cold. And then, but if you're going in with, like you post-accident or me post-Lyme disease, and I can't articulate sentences. Like, I literally was a man who prided himself on his ability to construct coherent sentences, and I could no longer fucking do that. That my why was really strong. Like, why the fuck am I doing this? Oh, because I want to be able to speak in a way that people can understand what I'm trying to say without saying, like, that fucking thing, the fucking thing, it holds the fucking table. You know what I mean?
That's where I am with that
Like,
shit. That shit really be fucking me up with the words. I need to get some cryotherapy.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, and what on that same note, there is an interesting study done. And again, Rhonda Patrick talks about this, but you can look it up. I think it's in PubMed or one of the science journals. They showed that the cold shock proteins released in mice who would go, like, dormant, right? And these synapses, these, like, connections between neurons would stop, right? It would be breakdown during the period of hibernation, and then reconnect whenever during regular season. They showed that using cold exposure kept those from ever breaking down, right? So they're based on this mouse model, they're speculating that we could potentially use that for humans too. So seeing some, like, neuroregenerative components, right? In addition to all the positive benefits that norepinephrine has on the body, on the brain, on cognitive function, that it might have this other effect that people who are suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, or just shit like me and you went through, Ed, like, there might be something there. And I can't say there is now because there's no science to solidly substantiate that, but there's strong data suggesting that it's a distinct possibility.
So, given that it has all of these effects, whenever you're forcefully pushing chemicals around in the body, like, and you say you have this spike or whatever, do you have like a withdrawal? Does it become like a drug?
So
do you go through withdrawal after?
Yeah,
do you go through withdrawal after you haven't had it for a while or anything like that? Or
it ain't cold enough.
Is it like your does it become like your coffee? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta have my cold tank in the morning.
And shit, damn.
Instead of a cold brew, you get a cold tank.
So from what I understand, and again, I'm not a scientist, but the things what I understand about exogenous versus endogenous increase in these levels, right?
You definitely are much better with words these days. I don't even know what the hell that.
No, I didn't follow that. I knew they were opposite.
Yeah. So exogenous, like exo outside of us. So we're taking the caffeine, we're taking the whatever it is, the hormone, we're taking the drug, we're taking whatever. So that's exogenous, and then it's creating a response, a chemical response in our body, as opposed to us inducing this chemical response endogenously, inside. So when we exercise, right, and we have these like inflammatory responses and then subsequent, chemical responses, that's an endogenous production of those. And that's the same thing that's happening with cryotherapy, where if we were trying to appreciate these same chemical levels by injecting ourselves with them, it seems like that would be a potential where we would experience some withdrawal, right? But we are getting our body to do it through exposure, through activity. And so it doesn't make sense from my understanding, and I believe from what the science is saying, that we're not going to drop below baseline. Right. So if our baseline is here and we do something, it's not going to then like, oh, we have more of it now, we don't need so much, and we're going to shut off production. You just get that increase in response to a stressor, an activity,
It's like a cookie. It's like, oh, you did a good job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's a cookie.
Here's a cookie.
And you could go back to work or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
digest that cookie, you get that little sugar spike, the little whatever pleasure neurochemical response, and then it's gone.
Yeah,
nobody's getting addicted to chocolate chips.
Come on, man. Somebody's addicted to chocolate. You seen Americans? We big as fuck.
Yeah, I wonder if the motherfuckers is getting too much. I wonder if this like
grass.
motherfuckers is showing up. Hey, like, yo, I need my tank today, bruh. Like, just like it's.
I would imagine that it's not necessarily in that dramatic form, but just knowing humans, when you start to attribute, like I think it's very healthy that you don't attribute anything as far as your recovery and recovery and mindset to cryotherapy outside of what can be scientifically proven. Because I think we have a tendency to, once we get something that like this was the change and I'm feeling better, I'm going to attribute everything to this change, and now we got to overindulge. And I feel like there's an overindulgence in cryotherapy. Like maybe we don't know what it is yet, but like I feel like if you go into that tank twice a day, you're doing too fucking much.
Well, so twice a day is still, I think, within the limits of reason.
That's a lot, man. It's negative 200. I haven't felt it, so I'm still on that number. Like,
but no, I'm on board with you. I don't know what it is. If it's just the and not to get too philosophical.
When you bring in a lawn chair.
You got to get a new tank to fix it.
But no, I think that's really important. Exactly what you said is, I mean, I was brought up, I think a lot of us were brought up in these cultures where we attribute our successes to something beyond us, whether that's God, whether that's Jesus, whether that's something else. And then we totally take on all of our failures as well. So like our failures are our own and our successes are outside of us. And I think
Not me. I'll be fucking battling with. I'll be like, nope, I'm not giving nobody credit that I can't touch.
No, but like, you know, you get into all of this, that placebo effect, right? Which is like which is a very real, you know, reliable effect.
You even if you know that it's a placebo, it still fucking works. That's how powerful the fucking placebo effect is.
Yeah. So attributing my the successes in in my recovery, I try to see them from the vantage point of the tools that I used and the applications in which that they're appropriate to have been used, and accepting that they were helpful. They were helpful, but they are not. I would never say cryotherapy got me from here to here. It's like, no, cryotherapy was one of the tools that I used inside of a broad spectrum of tools that I found to be beneficial. And to say anything else would be disingenuous. For me, it would be a flat out lie, right? Because I'm not just going from the cryotherapy into some other like stasis tank where the rest of the world is not, I'm not moving. I'm not, doing my physical therapy.
How did you find this shit?
Dude, so my entire life, from the time I was a kid and all through my adult life, I've done martial arts and have tried to find ways to heal my body and my mind that I didn't feel like I was getting from what was widely accepted, right? So I've always been a guy who's battled with depression, anxiety, and trying to find healthy ways to manage that. And one of the most healthy ways I found to manage that was through activity, through martial arts, through meditation, through mindfulness, and staying with that. But what that means also is if you're fucking active, you're getting hurt, right? And so then when you're getting hurt, when you tweak something, when you bang something up, it's like, oh, well, then what does society, largely prescribe? Well, there's Tylenol, there's ibuprofen, there's aspirin, there's Aleve. And it's like, okay, well, but I also know that this is long-term fucking up like my organs, and causing
alchemy, man. The equivalent exchange. Like, I mean, if you get it fast, it's going to take a toll.
Right. And so it's like, what can I do? What are the things that I can do that are sustainable and provide the most benefit? And so that's how I came across cryotherapy. It was just kind of being tuned into this, like, it's not alternative, but it's on the fringe, right? And it was like, you know what? It's not fucking hurting me. I don't have to inject myself. I don't have to take a pill. I don't have to drink anything. I just have to get into a tank, get really cold, see if I appreciate some benefit from it. And if I do, great. If I don't, it was a $30 experiment and it was worth it. And that was years ago. And so
you've been on it for years.
Well, I have, but not as a regular thing, right? If I would get an injury, I would use it, or if I had a particular problem or issue that I wanted to use cryotherapy to address, I would do that. But it was just recently, it was in this past summer. And then in September, my business partner and I bought cloud cryotherapy from the former owner, Tom Rogers, who had been running it on Smallman Street in the Strip for several years. He was looking to transition out of that business and focus on his other endeavors. And Warren Stout, who's my business partner, he owns Stout Training Pittsburgh, which is like the biggest jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA gym.
Yo, we're going to get you right. Then we're going to get you right.
Yeah.
We're going to get you fight. Then we're going to get you right.
Yeah. Yo, you might get some royalties on that. We'll get some Cloud Stout co-op gear going.
A couple sessions there.
Yeah.
I come up with a tagline.
So Tom approached Warren and said, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking. Are you interested? And then Warren approached me because he knew that I was thinking about some different ideas for opening a business. And he's like, Dan, you want to do this? You want to do it? You want to get this tank from Tom and move forward? And the thing that's cool is Tom's clients, and getting back to that question, do you have to be a top performing athlete or is it just for a regular dude? We have some great clients that carried over from Tom, and they're just normal folks experiencing things like chronic arthritis, like debilitating arthritis, fibromyalgia, different issues that are manifesting in lots of inflammation, lots of discomfort, lots of pain. And for those folks, there's several of them who come in and they do 2 sessions 1 time a week. And that helps them. They have found that over the years, that is their like minimally effective dose of cryotherapy. It increases all of these anti-inflammatory, I forget just anti-inflammatory markers are increased, and they find that it alleviates the pain, decreases inflammation, and that arc for them lasts about a week, right? And these are just regular folks, like our older folks, maybe closer to our parents' age. But then we see the fighters who are at Stout, who are top performing athletes. Like these guys are Bellator fighters. These guys are, right on the cusp of getting their big break to fight MMA. And they're using it to recover during their pre-fight training.
Man, you know what I mean? I just like if motherfuckers is at the top, putting that shit in there and putting time and money into that, like, I just feel like that just like ups your whole regular man game. Yeah, I mean, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting all this. I'm getting this super. You know what I mean? I'm getting this super shit. You know what I mean? Like just throwing in there 3.
Try to fight motherfuckers on the side. Come out the cryotech. Like, I know this spinning roundhouse, motherfucker.
I've been looking for a way to supplement living a good life, and this sounds like the magic bullet. Like,
I wonder though, like, do you see just outside of cryotherapy? Because I even got introduced to, like, somebody was like, "Yo, you can get this THC cream that you can pour on. I mean, that you can, rub into your shit." Because everybody's like trying to give me antidotes for this arthritis I have and whatnot, and everybody's like, yo, with the younger generation,
THC creams that you rub into your
you
body.
you rub on yourself.
Yeah.
It's like a lotion, a cream or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
And
really familiar.
like it doesn't get you high, but it relaxes your muscles type shit. Like,
Yeah.
So it feels like now people are moving away from the traditional, methods of medication where big business came in. It was like, here
you
go.
just rub fucking weed into your body? Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It sounds simple, right?
your knuckles
But I
and
feel
shit?
like we got away from that. I feel like that's what motherfuckers used to do. Like the indigenous people used to just rub weed in their body. Like these just fucking like, yo, it's cold. Like, they do some weird shit with cold and a bonfire or something to get some you know what I mean? Like, and we're moving back to that in a more incubated, like, all right, this is the exact science of it. Like, we have measurements and whatnot. So it seems like this is where medicine is going. Where do you, in your industry, where do traditional hospitals and, people who spend all these hundreds of thousands in medical school, do they subscribe to cryotherapy, or do they try to say, nah, this shit has this, negative effect, don't do it?
So I think that anybody, any physician, anybody working in the healthcare field, the science to support the benefits of cryotherapy are irrefutable, right? It's substantiated. It's hard science. It's in PubMed. These are studies that have been done and have been published. So that said, I think that we're all individuals, right? So there's what's going to be very beneficial for one person may be slightly beneficial for the next person. And I have a strong belief in like individual experience, sovereignty, and finding what works for you. And so if that weed cream works for you and takes away your pain and cryotherapy doesn't do shit, well, I keep buying that weed cream,
I do both.
Yeah.
Man, weed cream? You just be rubbing fucking weed into you?
Bro, they got
Just-
yo,
that's
dispensaries.
shit.
Yeah.
The dispensaries got shit that they got weed, fucking nail polish. They you just wearing weed.
You got a weed chain and shit. Let that shit just rest on your neck. The natural oils will just absorb that shit. That's good for about 2 months.
Yo, I'm serious. I think you just created the next product. You just put some cannabis oil on a neck jewelry.
Weed jewelry, bro. You got to get that shit copyrighted immediately.
The weed choker and shit.
Chokers is in right now too. You get Travis Scott to have a big ass Cuban link weed choker. He's high for 72 months straight. I've been high since February 2019.
But and I think you're right, and I think that it's a sign of that we're heading in the right direction, right? Is we're getting back to these things because exposure to cold isn't new. Right. Exposure to using cannabis, that's fucking millennia old. The fact that we ever stopped using it for these medical or just all of the purposes that it can be applied to, from cream to smoking it to wearing it, literally. We're moving back in that direction, and I think for me that's a promising indication that our minds are no longer so stifled by what industries are telling us, and I think that that's also an indication of our collapsing trust in these larger organizations, that they actually have our best interest in mind, and we're all becoming a little bit more skeptical. And if I have any piece of advice for anyone like pursuing cryotherapy, flotation tanks, any of these like fringe or alternative pathways, is be skeptical. Be skeptical as fuck. Walk in and be like, hey, I'm open to this working, but I'm not putting any money on this. And be honest about your experience with it.
Yeah. No, because I'm wondering, and I don't want to jinx the industry, but I'm wondering, like, if the science of it is so solid. Because, like, for example, with my shit, like, I got scoliosis, I got all these problems, right? So I'm like, I'll go see a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And then I go talk to my PCP, and he's like, nah, don't do a chiropractor. You know what I mean? He's like, don't do that. So at this point, if they're not saying, nah, don't do it, then will a large entity be like, all right, well, we're going to offer it because they can afford all these tanks. They can have a whole cryo sector. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, I don't want that to happen to your industry, because even with something like this, like once that happens, it dilutes the real
like
effectiveness.
Cryomart, where you just like walk into
even if it's just UPMC,
get some shopping, get some fucking
UPMC will open a whole south side
down
location of cryo. You know what I mean? Like they can do shit like that. You know what I mean? Because they got all this shit. They could be like, all right, so look, we making all this money. We got to be a nonprofit. So here, we'll just invest into a new science, and we'll just create the state of the art, whatever. And even whenever you're doing something to a large magnitude, I feel like, again, it dilutes like what, because you go somewhere, like if you go to any sort of service industry and there's like a few people there, you get that dedicated service from these few people, you know what I mean? But when you're in a larger context, now there's a production quota.
Because the money isn't staying there typically in those situations. You know what I mean? Like the people, the employees, the top to bottom, it's not as if it's people invested into that thing.
Right.
These are employees. These are people just working a job because, it's getting them by, as opposed to, oh, I know this guy in my community who gave me this opportunity, and I'm trying to help the people in my community through this service. You know what I mean? Like it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, with big business, they basically, all right, well, these are the parameters to make this technically cryotherapy. You know what I mean? So like if you've researched and you're into it, all right, we can offer that. You know what I mean? But now you got young, you know what I'm saying? You got younger, more invested motherfuckers like, all right, we trying to do the best. We try to hit the best levels, and that might cost us a little more coin, but you're going to get the better treatment. So I wonder, is that something that you concerned with? Like, all right, so we got the science to back it. So they're going to have to some degree, they're going to have to acquiesce. So they're going to have to be like, all right, this shit is real. This is something, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be coming to our doctors doing physical therapy anymore, where they can go sit in the tank for 3 minutes and get in and out. You know what I mean? You could do that shit between meetings. You can do that shit on a lunch break. You can do that shit really quick. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Yeah, but so a couple things. One, cryotherapy will never replace physical therapy, right? That is fucking like paramount. If you had to choose between cryotherapy and physical therapy, it's like get your ass into physical therapy, handle your shit. Like that is number one. Cryotherapy isn't going to restore all your mobility, your strength. It's not a doctor who has his eyes or their eyes on you, his or her eyes on you.
I shouldn't cancel my gym membership.
Don't cancel your gym membership. However, in this addressing sort of the wide scale availability of it, and this kind of makes me a shitty business person. Dude, I hope it gets out there, and I hope it gets out there. If I can help, if this can help as many people as possible and make it as accessible to everyone, then I'm okay finding another avenue because money is you can make it anywhere, right? Like I didn't get into this to make money. I got into this because okay, all right.
You could make it anywhere, fairly. I mean.
But like you. What I'm saying is, like,
I invest in some.
Yeah,
but I feel you now. We've
like it's not like this. This isn't a hyper lucrative endeavor to take on. But additionally, everything that I've done that I've been successful in has started from a place of like me just like a very sincere desire to help folks because it's helped me in a way. And if I can get that to people, or if it can be brought to people with that level of quality at a rate that I just can't match, well, then it's time for me to pivot and let the good pour out into the world, and I'll be fine. Like I always have been able to eat, I've never gone hungry.
Everybody eats.
Like
everybody eats.
And like you said, like these dudes coming in and this is like the level up shit. Like you have access to cryo, you got access to doctors, you got access to whatever you need. And it's creating this elite level of performer. What I would ultimately like to be able to do is to find a way to make this accessible to, people like my parents. Like when I came up, they didn't have fucking 2 nickels to rub together. Like the thought of them like dealing with all this shit, like getting banged up, working hard, having inflammation, and then fucking being able to spend, whatever it costs to do a cryotherapy session, it just wasn't feasible. And my heart is still with all those people, like the people who I came up with and I came up as. Like, I want to help you because I feel these benefits and I appreciate it. I'm fucking privileged. Like I am here indebted to every person that I've ever interacted with who put me on just a little bit. And it's like, fuck, man. Like I want to do something to pay that back.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody built that shit by themselves,
fuck
man.
No.
I mean,
fuck
everybody
no.
is in debt to somebody's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's strong shit, man. I do want to pivot quickly because it's been fucking with me, but this Mad Elf, man, it tastes like Dr. Pepper. It's got like a nice little and it's the same color as I don't know if it's because of the color of the can plus the color of the beer plus like the flavors in it, but it's kind of like it tastes like little like Dr. Pepper, man. Like it's nice. I like it.
I'm gonna chime in 1
let me
second.
because I had a little bit. I didn't think of that, but now you done put it in my head. Now, pause.
This could become my new favorite beer.
I don't know.
I feel you.
It's got a little bit of that.
I feel you.
Kind of.
I feel you.
Well, but I don't know what those 23 flavors is, but I feel like they probably nailed.
And
like
then with Mad Elf,
19.
and you only really be looking at it around a certain time. Dr. Pepper's like that too. Like you don't drink Dr. Pepper all the time.
It's like a dessert. You know what I mean?
You don't drink it all the time. Like I don't even know. There's no Dr. Pepper cocktail. Like it's not like I'm gonna have some rum and pep.
Yeah.
Ramen,
get some 99 bananas. Have a banana pepper. Yeah, banana pepper. Yo, I wish I would walk into a bar and see that shit. I'm like, yo, you owe me money. Fucking out here selling banana peppers. I know what you're listening
banana peppers.
On the appetizer
About
menu.
to try that shit.
Banana peppers.
No, but yeah, that's a very unique flavor. Like I can't even. What is the style actually?
It's got like this cherry malty kind of thing.
Yeah,
it is a honey and cherry,
spicy cherry kind of. I mean, like a
Shout out to Charles. We doing
Man,
it. It's
and
an
it's nice.
11% too.
Yeah, no, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm feeling it in my ears.
Yeah.
They're warming up even more than
East
well,
is spicy,
you know,
Belgian,
that's
I
why
have.
there's a mad elf, man. I mean,
No fucking idea.
that motherfucker comes through wrecking shit. Fuck your presence.
They dead ass do not even. This might not even be beer. This does not even have a style attributed to it.
He's the motherfucker that wraps the presents and then just kicks them into Santa's sleigh. He just punts the motherfuckers in there. Like
I'm a mad elf.
He's
As
mad
soon
as
as
shit.
I get the credit card bill,
These motherfuckers out here.
that credit
I
card
get on
bill,
my vacation.
that credit card bill cover Christmas. I'm a mad elf to the motherfucker. You motherfuckers better graduate.
Yeah,
I
and then
swear to God. Yeah, that motherfucker better be magna cum laude. My son got a Mercedes car. I'm like, you, man.
Yeah.
Fucking stunting out here with a Mercedes driving in the living room. Get out my face.
Make him wash it every Saturday, like I had to do with the Geo Metro. I
didn't
learned
buy
to
that
drive
shit,
on.
so he could keep it. I didn't buy it. I was not buying him no Mercedes-Benz Power Wheel. Are you crazy?
No, it's setting the wrong.
My first car was like a fucking 1985 Mercedes diesel.
Even that's kind of cool. That's
It was
kinda
cool. It was cool because it had Mercedes emblem, but it was an $800 car.
Yeah.
I had to get a tape deck and put in that motherfucker with an MP3 player.
Yo, man, shout out to the motherfucking the tape deck and the tape aux.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. Yo, listen, man, that got motherfuckers through from like 1990 to like 2015.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was in
like
several decades with that.
yeah,
I just bought an old ass Jeep that had a tape deck, and I had to jump online and cop one of those.
Yo,
just
man.
like 3
You
months
can't even go on
ago.
Radio Shack.
No, you can't even go to Radio Shack.
They don't even got them like tucked in the corner.
yeah.
Your car still got a tape
The,
deck?
the first time I bought a car that didn't have a CD, like didn't have a tape deck, I was fucked up because it didn't have Bluetooth either.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so you had
I
jumped
just
the
had
whole,
the
you had
CD.
jumped the whole CD generation. You went from tape deck to digital.
Yeah, no Bluetooth. So I was fucked up. I had to take the shit out.
Trunk CD 6 chain.
It had
Yo,
the CDs in it,
CD
but
chain
I ain't had
trunk.
CDs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I had the CD, but I ain't had a motherfucker. I at least had, if I had the tape deck, I could put it into the phone. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
That
like
6 CD changer, the trunk was clutch. too.
Yo, dude, where I grew up. So my buddies who, God rest some of their souls, you know, they come through with that big box, and it's like, yo, this goes in the trunk, and this one goes up front, and it's $50 right now. It's like,
That Joan in the trunk. First of all, you had to leave 20 minutes early because you had to pick the 6 CDs for the night. Like, it wasn't. It wasn't no quick change. Like, these are the 6 we rolling.
truth.
With.
And if you get the one up front, yeah, I mean, that was like the aux where
Yeah.
a motherfucker might
Yeah,
bring a CD,
yeah.
might bring it, like they hop in with the mix. Yeah, yo, I brought this mix with me real quick. Like,
Ooh, that's when you made your own mix.
yeah.
oh, dude, I
Like came
missed
through
that.
with the mix,
Mix.
like, yo, let me
Jump on LimeWire.
because I mean, all our pockets could fit 6 CDs.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like we was wearing big enough shit
Hell
that we could just
yeah.
be like, hey,
Well,
yo,
no,
let
if you
me.
owned the car, your shit was right on the.
I'm saying if you was riding
The
shotgun,
visor.
Yeah, your
the
shit was on the
visor
visor.
holder.
That
Oh, my
visor
God.
look was.
Yeah.
You pull over on the side of the motherfucking highway to get in that visor. Like, hold on.
yeah,
In the R&B.
shorty get in, he'd be like, hey, no, you could just check it up there above you.
Because before we
the-
was driving, when we just go on field trips, you had the one man's who had the binder. The binder of CDs. So
yeah.
he sat in the back of the bus. He had the whole binder collection full of CDs. You always bought, and one person always tried to peel off with one of his CDs. And he had the spaz.
Yeah.
We knew who had it. We knew who had that new Ludacris. Come on, Ralph. Come off that new Luda. Give it back to Nate. He got the binder. You know, we want him to bring the binder next field trip. You know what I mean? Like, don't fuck it up for everybody. Try to be selfish.
Can't let that motherfucker be taking my CDs and shit.
Oh, yeah. It was some people you just couldn't.
Yeah,
Now you gotta sit here. Now you can listen to it
hey,
in my CD player.
Yeah.
Let me see that book real quick.
Yeah, hey,
Nah, you get the whole CD player. You can listen. I'll just not listen to music while you listen because I know what you gonna do.
Oh man, guys, this has been great.
Hey,
This
well,
has
you
been
know,
really
listen,
nice, man. I appreciated the shit out of this.
Like you said, man, you've been good peoples. You've always been a bad Zen type motherfucker. And I mean, like, and that adds some calmness to a lot of that. I mean, a lot of what we do. You can do a lot of shit. We hardworking motherfuckers. I mean, every once in a while, you need somebody to just be like, "Hey, have you thought about yourself?" I mean, you gotta put the mask on first before assisting other passengers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man.
It's definitely at the forefront.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
Really talking about that a lot.
That's my that's kind of been the thing I've been coming back to a lot. And with the cryo, you know, trying to open it as a business owner, you know, it's like you can't have a relationship with the world or with the people in your life better than the one you have with yourself, right? And throughout this process, I've become a fucking neurotic, sometimes mess about handling shit, but it's always coming back to that place, like having a solid dock or a harbor where you know that this is home. This is home when your shit's handled. When you're this is home. Come back. you'll head out into those troubled waters, but like you know where home is, and it's not out there. It's like when you can come back to a place where you can, you know, express some love for yourself and express the love for the people in your life. You're doing it right.
Most definitely. And so we always do the where they can find you, but this is important because we need to know where home is, because we didn't touch on like where they can find cryotherapy online, but in the physical. So please let the people know.
Yeah, so you can check us out online at cloudcryo, that's CRYO.com. Our physical address is 2626 Railroad Street, and that's Pittsburgh, obviously, 15222. And
downtown. It's somewhere around these really swagged ass condos that
dude,
you
it's
can't
right
afford.
across from the yards. So we're inside of Stout Training Pittsburgh, which is directly across from the yards, that new condo space down there. Yeah, there's a parking garage above us, so you have spaces to park or find a spot on the street like I do. I'm still that old Yinzer who's like,
Supposed
dude,
to have
I'm
a
not.
spot. You ain't got a space.
Bro, it's not a come up like that.
Okay.
You know, I have a cryotech. I have a cryotech. The parking space is, you know.
Truth.
Whole cryo
Like
tank
if
with
I had a parking space, I'd put another tank in that.
Yeah.
He said 222. That shit ain't cheap.
Yo, a traveling cryo tank would be nuts. Like you just
Oh man.
pull up on the block.
Cryo truck?
Shit, they had traveling
Mr.
pregnancy
Freeze?
tests. They did traveling pregnancy tests in Pittsburgh at one
Yeah?
point.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
they used to come through East Liberty heavy, like regular
Pregnancy test?
You would just get
All
on
you
the
need
truck.
is
You
Boy,
would
you
get
don't
on the
even
truck.
need a whole truck. You just need a
Bro,
box.
they would just on the truck. They just do the pregnancy test.
And they give you you could do like the
I'm sure they had more
VD
services
check.
than-
Yeah, it's like that
I'm sure
big
it was-
fucking
Yeah, I'm
sure
saying,
it's
I
not
just feel
just
like a truck is
what they
is a
promoted
bit-
on the side of the truck was pregnancy.
And then
test.
they
I'm
get
sure
you in there, but they
some
give
other-
some more.
Yeah, like,
they
there's
get you
some
in
other
with the
shit,
test.
like-
And, yeah, I got you. Because I mean, you could do a lot more with a truck than just the test. You know?
Maybe I'll get the cryo tank on there. Be like, hey, you guys looking at a partnership?
Ooh,
You know?
yeah, I mean, maybe
Oh,
put some of
because you're
these-
gonna have to calm down after you get that positive.
Yeah. So,
put some of these eggs on ice.
educate you about the benefits of norepinephrine and positive mood.
Can you do that pregnant?
I can't say definitively. That's something I'd have to look
Yeah,
into.
I would probably say no.
It seems kind of risky,
Or
and
you just come out, you ain't pregnant no more. They let the people know where they can.
Hey, if you're looking for us, you can find us at epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. And shit, man, if there's any cases out there, you can find us at the cryo tank. Yeah, you ain't gonna work them motherfuckers out.
I'm so fucked up. I'm just thinking like you get somebody come in. She's like, yo, I'm 3 weeks. She do the cryo. And then you just gotta play the OJs coming out. Said we cried. And that's sorry. That is
We
not.
support your sovereignties at
Yes,
Cloud Cryo, ladies.
that is not an opinion that is expressed by Cloud Cryotherapy. Actually, we want to thank Dan for coming through, man. It's always a pleasure having you come through. And honestly, this is like one of the biggest reasons we do this. Like to see your man's level up, to see you move into another industry, you're doing well. It's dope, man. You got your cardigan on. I mean, we all camo down. Yours are more expensive than everybody else. We get it. We get it. You know what I mean? You can pull back a little bit. I mean, but nah, man, it's dope. So I would definitely, try to schedule me a little something to go in. You know what I mean? I put a little nipple cover because I'm scared because it's cold.
Get some Band-Aids.
But I definitely want to try it, man. Like it seems like something that could be very beneficial. Just hearing the mental, effects in addition to the physical is really dope. Like it's not something that you always get. So as always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epic Cast is the family. We out.
Seriously, I mean, it's cool because you and I kind of came through some similar shit.
And that's the shit that gets you out of the fucking work shock.
Yeah, no, that is that episode.